Hi, it's Lizzie, and today I have a video about the great question, am I cringe? I'm just gonna jump into it with my notes. So, if you have subscribed to this channel for any amount of time, including 10 seconds, you probably know that I'm autistic. And throughout my life, from a young age, I liked things that were considered weird or creepy or immature and childish or cringe. And that was whatever when I was a kid. Bullying happens, but all kids are freaks. Then, when I started using social media, it definitely came and smacked me upside the head some more. Because I hadn't necessarily learned that I should hide my cringe interests to be more palatable and to be less bullied. It was very difficult having my teenage years on social media in the depth of cringe culture at the time. And it especially was very hard coming to terms with myself as a young queer person when so much of the cringe culture was just plain homophobia and transphobia and ableism. I think most people now, when they think about the phrase cringe culture, think, oh yeah, that sucked. But I still think it persists a lot. But anyway, I feel less ashamed and embarrassed and stuff now. I don't really care if people say things about me because I know it's probably going to happen. And it's not the end of the world when it does. So I embrace my things that make me cringe. I'll tell you about them right now. I am a doll collector. My dolls are literally my life. They come everywhere with me. Not all of them. That would be crazy. I would be pulling a trailer behind me. But my dolls come with me everywhere. I think about them all the time. I talk about them all the time. They are my number one special interest as an autistic person. I also like other things that are less normal. Again, I don't want to sound like I'm making myself out to be like the quirkiest person, because I don't care for that side of it either. But I love Furbies. This is my favorite Furby, Space Boy. This is one of my others. This is Rexy. Sorry, I'm excited to show you the Furbies. This is Gizmo. And those are the Furbies I have in my camper right now. I love my Furbies also very dearly. I've also loved puppets from a young age. My first dream where I actually was like putting things together to try to make something happen when I was like 12. I wanted to own a puppet film studio, make puppets and do movies with them. I have circled back to puppets a lot, and I'm very much focusing on that right now, as you might know from some of my other videos. A couple years ago, I finally was like, what's stopping me from making a fursona? And now I have several. Excuse me. I like making furry art. I don't make anything inappropriate, for sure. I also don't necessarily ascribe to, like, the wolf or cat furry stuff. Mine are mostly rabbits and mice, and kind of like Beatrix Potter type furry. And I love that. I love being able to make my furry art. And most recently, I want to be a clown. You may have seen my previous reel that I uploaded a few days ago in clown makeup. I'm trying it out more, and I'm having a great time with it, and it's something I'd like to be able to do in my life. So yeah, there's definitely things there that are not super socially acceptable that can get looked down upon and get you automatically labeled as autistic even if you aren't. But yeah, cringe culture seemed like it died down a little, and then people started saying, oh, I'm cringe but free, or they're embracing their cringe. And I liked that at first. I thought it was really cool. because, you know, you're taking the things about you that are considered bullyable and you're embracing them. But then, well, first, I loved this concept so much. I made a holiday called Cringemas, which I've made a video on previously. Sorry, I keep referencing my own videos. And then, sometime later, my friend sent me just a post about how the cringe but free and reverse cringe culture was kind of keeping us stuck in the same loop as the original cringe culture. And so I sat on that for a long time because it really shifted my perspective just a little bit, even if it didn't change it overnight. I think the cringe but free and embracing cringe stuff can be and often is a defense mechanism for people who are, you know, considered cringe, especially autistic people and other neurodivergent people, young people, queer people. Because, you know, when you have the things that make you happy, if you look at them through a layer of irony, you feel safer. You feel like you can't be attacked based on them as much. You feel like you're more normal because you are degrading yourself a little bit to seem more palatable to the people that might otherwise bully you. And I see this a lot in American Girl communities, American Girl dolls, which are my main thing that I collect. There's a lot of collectors, especially older Gen Z women, I would say, who feel slightly ashamed of their doll collecting and their doll interests. And so they will address their collection stuff through a layer of irony. They'll be like, oh yeah, this is just my doll. They won't express any genuine affection or excitement about it. And this goes further, of course, going past the irony thing. There's a lot of American Girl collectors who hide their dolls from the people around them, including close friends and family and partners, which makes me very sad, and that's not something I could ever do. My dolls, like I said, are my life. And so sometimes it's very hard to see people taking something that is your trait, and even though they share it, they degrade it a little because they're scared. But it is hard when you're someone who can't hide your things, who can't hide behind the irony, to know that that's what people are afraid of being seen as. In general, it seems like a lot on social media and also in real life, emotions and true affection and having passions is seen as cringe. And the cringe culture persists, even if it's not called that anymore. In fact, I've been seeing it getting worse through our current stage of fascism in the United States within queer communities and trans communities, especially where people are ragging on non-binary people so hard. And that really, really stinks. I think the somewhat protective irony of the cringe but free thing is weighing us down as people who are trying to be our true selves. I think that we are freer when we don't worry about being cringe, when we don't say we're cringe as a protective mechanism. It's not a good defense. We should be allowed, and we are allowed, to embrace the things that make us happy and the things that make us who we are without putting them down to other people so that you hope they'll look at you a little better. And that's what I'm working on right now, is not just trying to not seep into those cringe mindsets. And acknowledge that who I am is okay. The things I like are good. I don't have to try to justify it to anybody. And that's really all I have to say. Sorry, I keep saying, you'd think I'd be a little better at this point. I will have some more puppet and clown themed videos coming up, both here and in shorts probably. So if you want to watch that, that's awesome. Just a heads up. Also, if you don't want to watch that, that's okay. you can watch some of my videos without watching all of them. I'm not going to be bothered by that. You can also unsubscribe if you want. Not bothered by that either. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any thoughts on this, I would love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Thank you for... I already said that. Bye.